Hey, what's up, app mafias? Welcome back to the commute. And in this video, we are talking to Saurabh. He is an SDE2 Android developer, so there will be a lot to learn from him. SDE1 and SDE2, what is the difference between the two, how to get to the SDE2 level. There'll be a lot around interview process and how to get hired and how to become a better Android developer. We'll be talking about first principles of the very basics, the foundations. So there'll be a lot to learn. Hope you guys really enjoy it, and if you did, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and for now, let's get started. When I start this podcast, I usually ask this one question to everyone. How do you define stable life for yourselves?
Okay, so like life can have multiple facets. It can be a professional work, it can be family. So it has multiple facets. So one is professionalism, another one is life, and another one is health. So so we take three of them. Like your health should be good, your family and friends you should have them, and you have your professional career as well, which defines major amount of your work. Which Steve Jobs also said that your
Mm-hmm.
work is majority of your part, and you need to make sure that you are just doing good in that, so that you have the this drive to wake up every day and do some work
Mm-hmm.
which you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I try to ask this question to everyone because I want to know what they're working for. Like, some people value freedom over anything else, and they tend to become
Mhm.
entrepreneurs in the longer run. And other people value money and stability, so they become long-time employees. So I try to ask everyone, like, what do you value the most when you are working in general?
Okay, so I think good people to work with, like to be surrounded by good people who can lift your game, socially, economically, and at a philosophical level if required, like philosophy wise, so that you can become a better person. You can learn a bit of peace from everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually you can also contribute back to them as well. They can learn from you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to be with the good set of people and to grow yourself and to contribute to other people's happiness as well if you can.
Mm-hmm.
You, that is, and of course make sure that you have your purpose. Like you find purpose in what you are doing. You're
Mm-hmm.
just not going through the days and through the weeks and through the months and through the years. Just make
Mm-hmm.
sure that whatever you are producing, someone can appreciate that, even if it can be anything.
Mm-hmm. It would be like you're the average of the five people you stay with. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I agree in many chances. Um, like, what's your story? How did you end up as an Android working in SD2 at Swiggy? Like, how do you start from your college, and why did you choose Android in general?
So to start with, like I was this CS graduate, was navigating through this my CS degree
Mm-hmm.
at APJ Satya University. I was not into Android. I just came across Android. That is also a funny story. So I was just into this AI ML stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but then this college said that you need to produce some internship certificate. Before that, I was giving some Udemy certificates or online e-learning certificates.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of my hostel mate was doing internship in Android, and
Mm-hmm.
I was helping him as well. But I was trying internship in MLAI. So back then they used to say that you need to have experience in MLAI as well. We
Mm-hmm.
are not looking for any fresher as well. So I gave Android a try because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get an internship to show to the college faculty. Because
Mm-hmm.
I cannot reproduce that Udemy internship
Mm-hmm.
again and again. So
Mm-hmm.
out of compulsion, I would say, or out of nowhere to go, I started with Android.
Mm-hmm.
So gave this online assessment for some of the circuit startup. It was e-learning. They were just creating this
Mm-hmm.
uh, Android application for people who go to tuitions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So there I worked for 3 months, learned Android, gave an assignment, and they selected me.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, like I was also parallelly doing gate examination as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking, gonna do masters because that was the mindset, like
Mm-hmm.
get a bigger package and learn more.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I barely just cleared it, but the rank was not good enough to fetch some good colleges in India.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, this was the last semester sort of thing at
Mhm.
my college. So they also said that then the college faculty has said that this last semester there won't be any study.
Mhm.
You need to do some 6 months of internship or so, and then they produce that certificate, produce that as a certificate to us, and then we would take it as a part of the curriculum, and then we will assign you grade depending upon that internship and the PPT you submitted.
Mhm.
So I joined Greedy Games back then in Bangalore.
Mhm.
When I worked there for 3 months, it was COVID time. So
Mhm.
learned there actually. So the people there were very like experienced. So learned like thinking from first principles, made an application from scratch in Kotlin.
Mhm.
So that eventually helped. So that boosted my confidence. Then I did not got converted there, but it was a great experience.
Mhm.
Anyhow, like I came back to Gurgaon. So this is where I actually belong.
Mhm.
So I've been living in Gurgaon for like 20, 25 years. My parents, my schooling and my college was also in Gurgaon.
Mhm.
Then I would say I joined 1K Kirana Bazaar. It was a startup applied there through, uh, I would say this was this uh, e-portal back then. Like I would say it was.
Mhm.
It has been renamed as Well Found, but earlier it was I guess something else.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Angels List, I guess. Yeah.
Angelist, yeah, Angelist.
Yeah.
Naval Ravikant, I think was the
Yeah,
founder.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Angelist, I applied to 1K Kirana via Angelist, got selected there, and like there also like had a lot of people. Like I was introvert back then, so but at 1K the
Mhm.
people were so good and the bonding and everything gelled so quickly that
Mhm.
I just felt like just sticking there. So stick in I stuck in 1K for 2 years and the time just flew. So
Mhm.
there I worked at e-commerce application, sort of e-commerce application. So it was server-driven UI, just like
Mhm.
Flipkart or Amazon. So every UI component would be coming from server and based upon a view type, you would render it on the screen.
Mhm.
And then I worked there on Flutter as well. So
Mhm.
it was a startup and things used to. So the PM came with the requirement that we are
Mhm.
expanding into Punjab regions and
Mhm.
we need to create an application which is iOS, which is for iOS users as well.
Mhm.
So I decided to learn Flutter on the go as well because
Mhm.
the programming principles and the architecture level, or you say the building blocks are the same. Any
Mhm.
Android apps, you need just a navigation library
Mhm.
or a concept to divide a screen into whole reusable components,
Mhm.
state management, and a sort of DI framework so that all the injections and everything are in
Mhm.
place if you want something or something like that. So worked with one of the intern there. So he was I think an IT grad.
Mhm.
So he worked with me in that Flutter application.
Mhm.
So hiring there as well at 1K. So
Mhm.
it was a startup. I was barely 1 year experience guy and
Mhm.
taking interview for 2 3 years of experience into the team. So
Mhm.
was taking care of hiring there as well.
Mhm.
Uh, one round for Android or one round for Flutter.
Mhm.
So tried my hands on backend there as well. So I was fiddling with backend
Mhm.
as well in my college days. So
Mhm.
worked for like some Golang servers in there in at 1K because the startup was almost dying. So didn't
Mhm.
had much to do. So was fiddling with Golang.
Mhm.
Um, because there was this funding crunch that we said that let's explore something else.
Mhm.
So did Golang there and also tried my hands on KMM as well, Kotlin multi-platform. So
Mhm.
there were 2 3 applications which were pure Android Kotlin native applications, but we wanted to bring all three of those apps into one umbrella. And
Mhm.
so we decided to use KMM for that. So did a POC around that as well. So how to architect KMM application,
Mhm.
uh, like um like retrofit would be replaced by something called KMM library that works on Android and iOS both, which would be a
Mhm.
kit, or
Mhm.
use something which is KMM for for storages as well. Like we have SQLite, then we would be having
Mhm.
SQLite Delight or no SQL data. If you want, you can use Realm DB.
Mhm.
So yeah, so did that as well at 1K. Then I would say then the Blue Smart happened since the 1K as a startup died because of funding crunch.
Mhm.
And then I would say I joined Blue Smart. I was
Mm-hmm.
in Blue Smart for almost roughly also for 2 years, I would say. So
Mm-hmm.
at Blue Smart, it was generally working on driver application.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Blue Smart in 2023 March, May, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so at Blue Smart also like it was around like re-architecting the application. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole app is maintainable and extensible when we are shipping the new features at a higher scale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then recently 2 months back I joined Swiggy.
Mm-hmm. So it's been an interesting journey. Like when it's come to going on accidentally finding Android, I think so a lot of developers find this way because
Uh,
most of them start off finding something else and they accidentally come upon Android.
mhm,
I tried web development in general when I was starting out, and I didn't like web development. I jumped onto game development, and then I came
mhm,
across how can I make games for Android, and then I came across app development accidentally, and
yeah,
that's when I started to learn Kotlin in my way from the college. I do not have that
mhm.
much experience as you do, but yeah, this is something that I guess most of the developers find Android and app development in general
Uh,
accidentally.
yeah, you stumble upon various things and just you stick to one thing and then it just carries on
Yeah, yeah,
for the
100%.
later point of time. Yeah.
You said like you were delving around ML and AI back then. Like if
Mhm,
you were to choose, like did you go on the right path in the longer run? Do you think like ML and AI as the boom arrived in like as
mhm.
ChatGPT and these things arrived in the market right now? Um, do you think your choice to pick up Android or app development in general was right, or it excited you more as compared to ML and AI?
So, like the rush here, the adrenaline rush, you can say, the of creating something like which is tangible,
Mm-hmm.
like which you can see, which other people can use. That what
Mm-hmm.
Android gives you, a mobile
Mm-hmm.
application gives you, or even web apps gives you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are in some MLAI domain and you are just writing some scripts or doing ETL and
Mm-hmm.
data processing and just getting some insights, it
Mm-hmm.
won't give you much fulfillment, but it can give you fulfillment at some other point of time. But
Mm-hmm.
we being young lads and trying just fresh out of college, that
Mm-hmm.
gives you more rush and fulfillment on creating an app,
Mm-hmm.
like a web app or an Android app. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, like it was the best bet, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I hooked up in Android.
Mhm,
And coming back, so I mean, as a basic concept level, I mean the things are just the same. So
mhm,
if you think from the first principle, MLAI is or just a math,
mhm,
and you are just coding complex math algorithms, or you are just using complex coding algorithms from third party sklearn or TensorFlow.
mhm,
So you can always learn at any point of time, given that you are in a good mental space, and yeah, your bills are being paid.
mhm.
Then you can
Of
learn
course.
anything. That is what I believe.
Sure, sure, sure. Like you told me that you started for Gate and went into masters in general. Like, what motivated you? Because I was looking into masters as well,
Mhm,
but not inside
mhm.
India, of course. I was thinking of outside India, but then I didn't go. I just went for a job. Um, but
Uh,
why did you choose masters? Why did you go into a job? Are there any pros and cons that you could think of?
so the fact of the idea of joining master's college, it was just out of this that my graduate college was some tier three Indian college, not
Mm-hmm.
just a big name on my resume. So just after 6 months into the college, I realized that I need to like just give some competitive examination and
Mm-hmm.
be part of that race or be part of that group who
Mm-hmm.
has achieved something. But that is subjectable and debatable as well. Like, how do
Mhm,
you measure like someone is doing good or has done better than anyone
mhm,
around you? But that is how we usually think when we are in college or at life,
mhm,
and your philosophies and the way you think toward life changes as life
mhm,
progresses. But back then, like it was how I thought. Like
mhm,
I wanted a good college name. It can be bachelor's, then it must be master's. So yeah, that was the idea. And going to abroad, I did see a lot of people from my 1K company going to abroad, like, but it was never in my mind to go to abroad
Mm-hmm.
for higher studies.
Mm-hmm.
Just never had an idea about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that was the basic motivation to have a good college name and be the part of better peer groups at my
Mm-hmm.
masters. And yeah, and assuming that then life would play its own permutation combinations, and I would end up in a better place with the better people.
Mm-hmm. I
Just
agree.
about opportunities first. Yeah. Yeah.
I think like most of the people who try to into masters are actually trying to do the same, find a better college and write it down on their resume. But
Mhm.
eventually realize when you're already working in the industry that it doesn't matter as
Uh-huh.
much as it looks. But yeah, of course, IITs and BITs will of course give you
Mhm.
a really elite kind of crowd working in startups, but that is more influenced by who you are and what you think, because you can do a startup in the tier three as well. So yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and I just wanted to ask, like, in like working in a startup like 1K, as you told, you handled a lot of, you wore a lot of hats there,
Mhm.
working in Golang, working in KMM, working in Android in general. Like, do you think like I would be really excited to join a startup, like, and it makes me really feel good about it. But don't you think like when the startup was losing funding in general, and do you had you do you had any fear for the longer run, like what will happen now? And um, everybody fears for their money, right?
Mhm.
So did you have any fear in the longer run? Okay, what will happen after this?
I mean, you lose like your mental sanity. Like if you realize that the paycheck out which you're gonna receive on 1st or 31st is not gonna coming from the next month.
Mhm,
So, and if you have some financial goals or EMIs at your head,
mhm,
then that also just warns the whole equation.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean that like that fears creeps into everybody, like
mhm,
whoever is being part of the process or who has been in like in any startup or anything. I mean, the layoffs can happen. They are being happen at every places, like even if at the FANG companies as well, because they just were experimenting something and then they decided to just shut down the whole vertical
mhm,
because the market did not play it out or it was not a good product fit for the market or
mhm,
maybe like it was just a loss making division altogether.
mhm,
So they just decide to like let go of all the people in that division.
mhm,
So like at tech it depends, like if you are being at a right time at a right place, then
mhm,
things just come to your way, and
mhm,
you are just being blessed. But
mhm,
you need to be at IT, like you need to be like employable and you need to be on your toes in terms of skill set and whatever you are like you need to have like always job ready, I would say. Or
mhm,
you cannot just sit at a particular place and say that this is a government job like thing and
mhm,
I'm set for the life, because you don't know like what
mhm,
might happen.
mhm. I agree. Most of the life is just figuring out what to do and who to
uh,
do it with.
what to
So
do and what not to do
what not to do?
eventually.
Yeah. Um, I just wanted to ask more around app development in general. Like, what's your thinking on app development industry? Like, where do you think it is going right now? In like, is it going upward? Does it have a upward up graph or a downward graph? What do you think?
So I think apps would be there, but like I would say, a lot of automation for backend was already being done. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of tooling was already done for backend folks,
Mm-hmm.
and we as a front end developers did not have much of a tooling at our end, which would be like plug and play. So, but I think that is being done by LLM generators. Like you can upload particular this UI image, and it would spit out the XML or a compose code and
Mm-hmm.
things you can boost you. But I think to discuss? Are you discussing about the state of development, like at a programming level, or like as a app industry, or
I'm thinking both. Like, what do you think about both?
like I am just doing native, but I have like experience with cross as well, cross platform as well. But I think when you go deep into everything, then I would say that performance, creating some performant application is very hard. So creating basic CRUD application via some cross platform application is very easy. So you can just write a Flutter application which just does basically good
Mm-hmm.
in iOS and Android. But creating a performant application for just one platform is just very
Mm-hmm.
hard because we have to do lots of optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, and I guess at a higher level, I would say that a lot of it would be coming to like how niche you are into solving a specific problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because with coming days, LLMs and tooling which AI is providing us, so all the basic stuff which used to be the responsibilities of interns and SD1 would
Mm-hmm.
be just delegated to AI ML models.
Mm-hmm.
So just being a niche about what you know, like if you are a performance guy who just fine tunes the performance, then you need to be really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how uniquely you will be defined in coming years.
Mm-hmm. As you like, you told me about like Angel List and everything. You know, Naval Ravikant.
Uh-huh.
Like, have you read his book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant?
Just recently, I think I read this December. Yeah, the past December,
Yeah,
around this Christmas and New Year week.
I think he pinpointed there's something like there's a part of the chapter he pinpointed like having a specified knowledge
Uh,
um, to
which is not teachable to anybody.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I constantly reach out to that whenever I'm thinking around LLMs and AI because it's when it cannot be taught, it cannot be learned by LLM. So that's
Mhm.
what I'm thinking constantly. Like when I try to draw exactly what it is, I try to think of it as a mixture of many things and like a knowledge that has been you know mixed and matched and generated and filtered again and again and it becomes completely yours as compared to somebody else because it is derived from your experience and not from the knowledge that might be available in the book or maybe on the internet and
Mhm.
that's what I constantly think of. Like, for example, let's just say that I'm keen into investing in general. I'm keen into personal finances in general. I'm also an Android developer. Now, I can mix these two and find the problems to solve. I can leverage the
Mhm.
AI that has already been there, the bots he talks about, the programs that he talks about. I can leverage that. Um, and that becomes my specified knowledge. That's what I think, at least. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the specified knowledge is required. Like that is what differentiates you from rest of the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you like can capitalize upon that by using technology or like creating some digital economy, which he also touched upon in his book novel.
Mm-hmm.
So that creates actually the wealth for
Mm-hmm.
you to leverage in such a form.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, you're someone who is just working in the college right now, like he is just into like last year of college or maybe third year of college and want to get into the app industry in general, do you have any kind of advice for them?
So I think it is majorly about like learning the things, seeing the things from first principle. That is what everybody has touched upon, like Elon Musk and everybody like boil down everything to the first principles, like dig deep into it, and then
Mm-hmm.
unless you are just hit the rock bottom, that this is the fundamental axiom, that this
Mm-hmm.
is the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and keep your basics right. Like if you have the right fundamentals, then you can code even
Mm-hmm.
an mobile app and an iOS app, and even
Mm-hmm.
you can even code LLM basic model as well. So
Mm-hmm.
like learning the basic CS fundamentals and like I think. he also touched upon this that maths is really important. Like you need
Mm-hmm.
to understand economics and
Mm-hmm.
mathematics, and
Mm-hmm.
he also touched upon persuasion as well.
Mm-hmm.
This might go to a book review if we talk of
Yeah, yeah,
Naval
100%.
Vikant. But yeah, I think I agreed with what Naval touched upon. Like, and he also touched upon that we have just one life, and you need to try on a lot of things in just one life. Like
Mm-hmm.
you cannot say that I'm just going to be this nerdy CS guy who don't know anything about personal finance.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to do personal finance as well. You need to do CS as well. You need to
Mm-hmm.
take care of your family as well. You need to take care of your health as well. So
Mm-hmm.
nobody can do push-ups for you.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot pay anyone to do push-ups for you. You
Mm-hmm.
have to do push-ups by yourselves.
Agree,
So
bro.
that's also an interesting way to look at things like when it comes to health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like in app like Naval's book is in itself a lot of things we can talk about for hours about on an end to about Naval and the Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
Mhm.
As for the app development industry in general, what I think specifically would be to just start from the basics, understand, like for example Kotlin maybe, and have a good understanding of DSA, have a good understanding of okayish understanding of DSA, okayish understanding of
Mhm.
how programming languages work and how Kotlin works in and out, and then go into the basics of Android, start maybe developing some kind of CRUD applications, do open source if possible. um, that's the I think so the basic line to get an internship. That's what I can think of. Other than that, if you are really good, you might as well go into freelancing, and that will give you a very big leverage as compared to others. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking around
So
app
I think
development.
I read this book called Head First Design.
Mm-hmm.
It was by O'Reilly. So it was
Okay.
also a really nice book on
Mm-hmm.
how to create programs in general from thinking from whose language concept. Like it was written in Java. So like how this various design patterns like facade and singleton and various design patterns works and how they are being thought of
Mm-hmm.
and what problems they solve. Like
Mm-hmm.
really good book to try if
Mm-hmm.
you do have time.
Yeah, sure. I'll write it down. What is it called?
It is Had First Design Pattern by O'Reilly. O'Reilly is the
Okay.
publisher.
Okay. I'll try to read that book.
Mhm. So it's just a comic type book, so lots of images on the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is how O'Reilly writes its Had First series.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll try to read this book. I'll let you know if I have any thoughts on it as well.
So,
Yeah, like as you said, you have been already into AI in general, and you've already been working in and around of AI. Now, when you see like AI being involved in, I think so, every industry around you, do you use AI on like day-to-day basis as an app developer? How do you leverage it? That's what I'm trying to ask.
I think I have not been using that much. But here at Swiggy, like I have seen various channels being created. Slack channels have been created. And people have been using Cloud to
Mm-hmm.
automate like what could have been achieved by 10 engineers. They are trying to achieve it with the help of two, three engineers
Mm-hmm.
in that within a team. So I have been like seeing mails and Slack channels here
Mm-hmm.
where people have been using AI and
Mm-hmm.
AI tools extensively. And
Mm-hmm.
same goes with other companies as well. Like every now and then, every company is open sourcing. So this Zomato also open source some of the uh,
Mm-hmm.
AI tools for customer experience. I think they have this open source it, or they are just providing the APIs for others to try out as well because they are just using this to into so they I think they have let go of each and every ex, customer users and they are just
Mm-hmm.
using AI to handle all the customer support.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, I have not been using it in my day-to-day experience, but like I love to brainstorm with ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
asking him the cross questioning,
Mm-hmm.
just like I acting like a mentor and I
Mm-hmm.
acting like a student, and he acting like a mentor, and I asking.
Mhm.
So cross questioning and like why this was not possible, and sometimes like it just gives you a wrong answer, or like
Mhm.
if you give a particular code to debug, sometimes you can do better debugging, but like it's a good person to have by your side, like an intern to give to a small task, and you can do brainstorming as well.
Mhm. Mhm. That's what I think at like half the time the problems with AI lie because it might hallucinate and give you some kind of code that it just
uh,
does not work.
so back then, like in 2020, 19 or 20, when I was learning LLMs, back
Mhm.
then I used this. There was this series in this was this English sitcom, Two and a Half Men. It was a comedy show,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Two and a Half Men. So I generated all the episodes transcript and gave to LLM, and
Mhm.
told LLM to write a new particular show for Two and a Half Men. So
Mhm.
back then in 2019 or 2018, it was so bad that the dialogues from Alex or Charlie or
Mhm.
that kid did not make much of a sense.
Mhm.
So we have come up a very long way, like from those days where LLM used to create some gibberish because it
Mhm.
is just predicting another character,
Mhm.
and then next character, then space, and then character, and sequences. It's
Mhm.
just at a base level model, but
Mhm.
it has now been able to create some like it can think. So we do have come up a long way. Like it was never thought that LLM would be answering to our questions in such a sensible manner. Like if
Mhm.
even if I ask any of the prompts to ChatGPT, so it would
Mhm.
just answer it in a very professional and a very English proficient manner.
Mhm.
That was not even thoughtful
Mhm.
back in 2019 or 2018 also.
Mhm. Mhm. Like I used a lot of AI. Like in general, I use it in on like a lot in day-to-day basis. Not
Mhm.
in general for a lot of coding, but in general for, as you said, brainstorming and trying to ask like trying to learn all along the way why it is happening and what is the reasoning behind it. Because
Mhm.
a lot of people try to write code and they think that this code is right, but they do not know why it is right.
Mhm.
So that's, I
So
guess,
you can
everybody.
drop that DSA questions as well. So
Yeah.
consider this as a problem, consider this as a solution. Tell me step by step way like how we deduce to this particular algorithm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if it is greedy, then why it is greedy, and then what was the thought process around this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are like analyzing a research paper, or you are just if even if you are doing a book reading. So I was reading this book called Power of Now, and
Mm-hmm.
the concept of power of now is like really very hard to grasp. So I
Mm-hmm.
was just using MLAI to like help me like give me the summary of this
Mm-hmm.
chapter beforehand, so I am ready that
Mm-hmm.
what is coming up my way, and can read that particular chapter of that particular book in a more
Mm-hmm.
conscious manner, since I know contents beforehand.
Mm-hmm. I
You
agree.
can use AI for like book reading, research paper,
Mm-hmm.
if you do that, and then
Mm-hmm.
everything is. So if you are reading any complex article on medicines, since we are
Mm-hmm.
science students and
Mm-hmm.
we don't have much context of medicines,
Mm-hmm.
but if you stumble upon any medical article, then that
Mm-hmm.
can ChatGPT can just
Mm-hmm.
explain you like you are a five
Mm-hmm.
in that type.
I agree.
We are yet to like. I mean, I also don't use ChatGPT in my normal day-to-day life, but yeah, I think it is just
Mm-hmm.
it's a like lot of aid to our side, like
Mm-hmm.
using it for brainstorming and other parts. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yet to fully leverage AI in
Mm-hmm.
my day-to-day life.
I
Not
agree.
not there as of now.
I think it just it's a matter of time, curiosity, and understanding of what to do. Because if you're curious enough, and we can think of problems,
Uh-huh.
um, soon enough we will be able to leverage the AI and solve our problems in a very big manner, and that would be super great because you will become overall more productive, and you will produce a lot of outcome as someone who is as another we can't said study a lot of new things, macroeconomics, game theory, study
Mhm.
everything. You have to be very curious about it though. If you're not
Yep.
curious to learn anything like that, it might be a downfall in the longer run. But if you're really curious and you have a good idea of how to leverage AI, then you'll be incredible in the upcoming future, and that would be, yeah, that's what my takeaway would be. Yeah.
Yeah, so being curious. So some people are curious by birth, and some develop curiosity along the way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, like, I just wanted to ask one more thing around like app development. Like, you have reached SDE2 level, right? Now, what do you think are the differences in the level skill of SD2 and SD1? And how do you go from an internship to SD1 to SD2? Because I've seen that a lot of people will be switching around, switching their jobs in SD1, but they do not wait for a while into a single company to get hired into an SD2, right? They
Mhm,
want to jump jobs, they want to hike their, bloat their salaries to a very
mhm.
large amount, but they don't want to go to SD2 because I think so it's tough and it requires a different level of skill. So just wanted to ask, what do you think is the range of skills that an SD2 might require?
So I think SD2 should be like there are various definitions to it, like what the
Mm-hmm.
JD for SD1 is, what compared to what the JD for SD2 is.
Mm-hmm.
But at like what I can tell from my experience is that like uh, you need to know like how to create a solution from end to end and know
Mm-hmm.
the nuances beforehand. Like if I am gonna use this approach, then
Mm-hmm.
uh, would the things be more uh, logged in into at a client side level or at a server level.
Mm-hmm.
Talking from the mobile perspective, is the feature uh, configurable? Is or is that particular feature being
Mm-hmm.
like backend enabled or disabled, so that if anything goes wrong, can this feature be disabled altogether, not affecting the other users? Like if we
Mm-hmm.
are rolling it out at a stage road, like 5%, 10%, then 25 and 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
can we minimize the blast radius? Like
Mm-hmm.
not much of the users can affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Or coming thinking in terms of like, so at when I was interviewing for SD2 roles, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that system design is being asked. Like
Mm-hmm.
how would you design a particular system,
Mm-hmm.
even if you are not a backend guy? Just I'm not interviewing for any backend role, but since I
Mm-hmm.
was interviewing for Android role, so I
Mm-hmm.
need to provide with the API contracts, like
Mm-hmm.
what the API contract would look like when you are connecting with when
Mm-hmm.
you are developing this particular feature,
Mm-hmm.
and what DB decisions you would take. Would you take SQL, no SQL? If
Mhm,
SQL, then why not no SQL?
mhm,
And if you are taking this particular library, like if I was interviewed at some place, so then he said that what would you use? So I said I would be using Coil. So he said
mhm,
that why not Glide? So I just
mhm,
said that Coil is the fancy thing, and then
mhm,
everything is built up on Kotlin. But
mhm,
that is not the right answer. You
mhm,
just need to back up like why Coil, why not Glide?
mhm,
So as SD2, you just start digging more deep into
mhm,
like the libraries and the nuances. You just cannot go away with SD1 like answers. Like
mhm,
I just gonna use Coil just because it's fancy and it's
mhm,
newer.
mhm,
So I cannot say that I would use Ktor when I'm just developing a single Android application, which is not a
mhm,
multi-platform, because I might uh,
mhm,
miss some of the other opportunities which Retrofit provides, and
mhm,
Ktor does not. So you need to be like very conscious of your decision as an SD2, because you will be
mhm,
questioned like why this, why not, and you need to know the trade-offs, like
mhm,
why this and why not, and why
mhm,
the system is built in this way. So it's about the
mhm,
HLD. And now coming to the LLD part, like low level design, you need to code to interfaces, you need to code to
mhm,
like single responsibility classes, so that the code is extensible. So
mhm,
which eventually comes to you as soon as you build side projects, or you learn from articles, you read books. Yeah, I guess
mhm,
that is taking more responsibility in terms of tech. Eventually, it is SD2, not SD1.
mhm,
And yeah, just see like what does the JD for SD2 requires from you, and then
mhm,
learn it. So because learning is the only way.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like most of the time when like for example, I've been developing my own app and it's not written in Dagger Hilton Retrofit. It's rather written in Ktor and Coin. And half of the time when interviewers try to ask questions from my app and they see this now I'm using Ktor and Coin, they always ask pinpoint, why do you use Ktor, why do you use Coin or Dagger Hilt
Mhm.
or Ktor? Then I have to ask, okay, Coin is service locator pattern, other
So the
Dagger
difference
Hilt.
between actual fire, DI and Firebase service locator,
Yeah, yeah. So I need to answer
what
these two pattern
actually
questions
is.
now. So
Mm.
yeah, eventually the choices we pick as developers, and like these choices, why we tend to define why do we use them, and I think so. As you said, we go deeper down into the nuance of developing with libraries, and we try to choose libraries and see if they are actually something good, and give us the right fit for the product. If you
Mhm.
understand that, I think so it will help you reach the level of FSG2. That's what I think, at least.
Mhm.
um
So I
yeah.
think developing this action bias like thing. Don't overthink, just do it. Because since you have
Mm-hmm.
AI at your disposal, you can just create a POCs very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have this high action bias. Like I'm just gonna do it and let
Mm-hmm.
you know, rather than just sitting back and thinking
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna do what gonna happen, is it
Mm-hmm.
performant or not? Will
Mm-hmm.
this work or that work? Just
Mm-hmm.
do it. Just a high action bias thing.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Right.
very biased toward your actions because it's just a small thing. Even if I mean I'm saying you to say that
Mm-hmm.
in some big apps like Swiggy Zomato, you just turn it upside down, like replace Dagger with Coin.
Mm-hmm.
That you cannot do because it's just too much of refactor. Because
Mm-hmm.
but if there are small things like doing a simple POC or starting with a new project which
Mm-hmm.
can increase your intellect as a developer or as an
Mm-hmm.
engineer, so just
Mm-hmm.
do it right away because you
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of resources available. You have lots of AI tools at your disposal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a matter of time to create something and learn it and move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I think, like, again, Naval said this, like, intents don't matter, actions do. So yeah,
Huh.
whatever intent it might be to create something very big, but if you're not taking action on it, there's no point. So
Mhm.
yeah. Like, how do you, like, did you find something really, really interesting or hard to do in your work? Like, as an SD2 in Swiggy, did you come across something very super interesting that you want to share? Like, maybe you optimize some kind of performance, a security issue that you solved, or like whatever in your journey, something super interesting that other developers would learn about.
No, I guess it has roughly been 2 months or month at Swiggy. It was just
Mm,
joined recently, so
mm,
can't say anything about that. And apart from Swiggy, I would say like most of the challenges as of now have been to around not around performance. It has
mm,
roughly been around architecture
mm,
and how to achieve particular feature or
mm,
particular requirement with the given set of code base and the given
mm,
set of state of the code base or
mm,
given set of architecture. It has roughly been around there. So
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the developers do not really optimize for performance in general because I think there are
Mhm.
particular teams for that. But
Platform team maybe lots of
yeah,
engineering. Yeah.
I think that as as you go into towards startup, maybe you will be optimizing for performance, because you're wearing many hats. But in
Mhm.
the when you go into a very big companies like Swiggy or Zomato, I don't think so exactly. That's exactly what you will be doing. But yeah,
Mhm.
um, like as you said, one more thing, like around the actions, as you said, keep on have a bias towards actions. As developers, we love to have some kind of visual thing in front of us, and we love to release these apps into the public, and that's what makes us happy overall in the longer run. Do you have any personal apps at least in the market, or do you plan to release any personal apps?
I think I had this one of the. It's not on the Play Store, but I do have a one console
Mm-hmm.
on a Play Store.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. So this is the personal application. I built it using KMM. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just using iOS device for 6 months, then reverted back to Android because
Mhm.
the whole iOS thing seems like much of a fad.
Mhm.
Just switch back to Android. So it was
Mhm.
just regarding logging my workouts. So
Mhm.
I was at this gym which was associated with CultFit. Then it got
Mhm.
itself removed from CultFit. So I need an app to track my fitness
Mhm.
and my reps and my weights
Mhm.
and workouts. So created
Mhm.
that application, and after that I extended it to various other features like logging my coding logs as well. So how many
Mhm.
hours I am doing coding using a Waka log. So Waka
Mhm.
log, Waka time is this extension which you can install on your ID, and then
Mhm.
it can tell like how many hours you have coded at Android Studio, VS Code, and
Mhm.
WebStorm. And then
Mhm.
I extended it to generating sort of reward points. Like
Mhm.
if I have like let's say if I coded for 240 minutes
Mhm.
on Saturday,
Mhm.
so automatically like I would be assigned some reward points. So
Mhm.
sort of creating gamification out of my day-to-day life, and then
Mhm.
motivate use acting as a motivation. But that was the idea, but uh,
Mhm.
it is not happening like in a longer run. But that was a nice idea to incorporate.
Mhm. Yeah, you
Yeah,
try,
back
you
then.
experiment. That's what we do. That's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, like, did you
So
ever
it
think
it
of? Yeah.
it was like just gamifying your goals and the making the whole experience as gamification. Like you set a goal, and then as you take baby steps toward those goals, you got rewarded, and that loops
Mhm.
goes and goes. And
Mhm. Did you like think of like ever going into the journey of like become an entrepreneur and living the journey of job in general?
uh, as of now, I'm like since being an entrepreneur, like as a word, like it sounds cool, but there are a lot of things if we
Mm-hmm.
add on top
Hundred
of it,
percent.
like you are being responsible for a business model and being held accountable for the future of for the lives of other people who are associated with you as well,
Mm-hmm.
like your co-founders, your workers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So doing entrepreneurship for the just the word of it or just for looking cool is not advisable. That is what Instagram feeds we come across or the YouTube videos
Hundred
we
percent.
come across. Like don't
Mm-hmm.
so if you have a problem to solve, you can just do it as a solo entrepreneur. You can just launch a SaaS, and then we can be on a one zone at a one side, and you're just making money, and you are
Mm-hmm.
just being contentful, and you have that fulfillment, and you are happy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you need not to say it loud that I am an entrepreneur, but you are just solving problem and you are being paid for that as well. That is
Mm-hmm.
what Naval also touched upon. Like you create
Mm-hmm.
some solution and you are being paid for, and then everything just fits that block. No need to
Mm-hmm.
just being like very loud about it in the public.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that it's not all race cars and dream bikes for
Uh,
everyone. Entrepreneur
So
sounds
like
like that.
at one point of time, that might be your like goal, and then you eventually move out of it because you see that now I've tasted this particular phase of life. Now I want another phase of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I wanted to actually now go on to asking about like interview process, Android interview process, and in general. Like, do you have any advice to become better at giving interviews and in general, like becoming better in Android so that I can, you know, get hired somewhere, or someone who is listening who just passed out from like fourth year of his college want to get into Android or app development in general and want to get interviews in general. Do you have any advice for them?
So yeah, I think you also touched upon that people should be good with what
Mm-hmm.
they are thinking, and what they are thinking they should be able to code it. So what's in
Mm-hmm.
my brain, I should be able to code it. If I'm saying that there's this array, I will
Mm-hmm.
pick one element and compare it to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And if something comes up, that is my candidate answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just pick another element. So what I'm thinking, I should be able to code it. That is a
Mm-hmm.
fundamental requirement of today's
Mm-hmm.
age programming. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to learn that skill. It can be either through projects, it can either be through DSA, but that is
Mm-hmm.
the fundamental requirement. Like whatever it is in your head, you should be able to code it.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to another part, like you need, as you progresses, as you climb the ladders
Mm-hmm.
in terms of engineering, like
Mm-hmm.
SD 1, 2, 3. So you will eventually pick things up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the the skill to like design systems.
Mm-hmm.
Either you will pick through reading articles or reading code base within your organization, which have been written by senior developers.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to also inculcate this habit of reading code. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the good
Mm-hmm.
the good code base. It can be in GitHub or something,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can learn from them. So you can, I think, pick good things
Mm-hmm.
and make a note of it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, maintain some knowledge base as well as you grow. So whatever you are learning, just keep a note of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so you revise them and as they go, because information is being exploited nowadays, because we have a lot of content at our disposal to consume.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't make note of it, then it will be just won't be retained by us in the long term. So make notes and develop the skill of whatever is, is in your head to code it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And eventually uh, like go from, like, there's this concept of being a theoretical physicist versus
Mm-hmm.
uh, practical physicist.
Mm-hmm.
So we being CS grad, so we have this opportunity of being a practical physicist because we have
Mm-hmm.
laptop at our disposal. We can write code, let the
Mm-hmm.
machine to write that code. And so yeah, so try each and everything,
Mm-hmm.
dig into the thing. So like we can soon go through the Android OS, go through the libraries which you are using, go to the glide code base,
Mm-hmm.
understand and read. I think and reading code base, reading books, reading articles, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is the way and learning
Mm-hmm.
as you navigate through your life and through your career.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like most of
So
the
when coming
time,
back to
yeah, yeah,
interview processes, which you also mentioned, sorry for interrupting.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so I think it is very straightforward. Like SD1, it is normally Android rounds and DSA rounds, and
Mm-hmm.
then for if you go for SD2, I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be accompanied by one system design round
Mm-hmm.
extra
Mm-hmm.
on top of what you were being asked in SD1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like when I'm, as you said, some of the key takeaways that I took from you right now was that you have to have the very basic skill of writing the code and
Mhm.
having a good understanding of how do you translate your thinking into the code. One of the basic
Mhm.
skills that you learn by developing projects or maybe DSA. DSA is not
Mhm.
exactly very um, you know you might be interested in DSA, you might not be interested in DSA. It depends.
Mhm.
And some people are interested in projects. Do your projects, then do not have to focus on something that you do not exactly like. If you like
Mhm.
DSA, go for it. I think so. Interview process in general is like you cannot always pinpoint to exactly what an interviewer might ask, but generality is like if you have the very basics down of Android, you already have all of the tools and things that an interview needs. Other than that, when it comes to like after learning some of the basics, the only thing that remains is to understand why you do what you do. And
Mhm.
other thing is just adopting the best practices as you learn from experience, and reading from other people, as you said, read a lot of medium articles. Maybe that will help you
Mhm.
pinpoint exactly um, what you're doing wrong. And that's what I'm thinking, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, reading as a habit, like Novel also touched upon, is like
Mm-hmm.
reading books or reading anything. So also
Mm-hmm.
one of the fundamental.
Mm-hmm. Reading is better than what reading is faster than watching. Doing is better
Uh,
than, yeah, exactly. Like I these are all of my questions from like in general around Android side. I kind of want to go on a tangent here and talk about personal finances. um I wanted to ask, like, whenever your salary comes, like, how do you divide your salary in general? Like, is there any 80/20 50/30 rule somewhere that you follow?
so like I have not been very conscious about my finances as of now. Like it has been like roughly 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is very not good thing to take away if you want to take away anything from me from this session.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think moving forward, I'm like being more trying to be more focused about on finances. Like
Mhm.
yeah, having this division which you said like
Mhm.
2080 or something like that tool, which I also stumbled upon various YouTube videos to do like bonds, savings, and
Mhm.
needs. And
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
we'll do it in a systematic manner. But yeah, as of
Mhm.
4 years, not doing pretty much of that.
Mhm. Do you have any like investments in general right now? Like for example, stocks, bonds, maybe, or like simple
Uh,
FDs.
I think I did bear stocks like using Zerodha, right?
Mhm.
And rather than I do have like debt like in PPF, NPS,
Mhm.
yeah, which is like 7% return, just
Mhm.
beating inflation. So that the
Mhm.
money is not devalued sitting at my bank.
Mhm. Uh,
Yeah.
so some of the basic stuff like and everybody can follow is like of course do an FD, do get a life
Mhm.
insurance, get a health
Ah,
insurance.
yeah, yeah.
These.
I mean, life insurance, yeah, I am a personal as well because we, as a software engineers, jump from one company to another company,
Mhm.
either due to opportunity growth or something else. Like,
Mhm.
but you need to have your own like health insurance and one of the life insurance.
Mhm.
Also, some companies do give it to you, but like it's better to have like one long health insurance by which is owned by you
Mhm.
for yourself and your parents and your
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
and one of the life insurance as well. Although
Mhm.
some companies cover that as well, but like since that is very subjectable as you go from one company to another, so like it's better to have
Mhm.
one owned by you, both for health insurance and life insurance. Both.
Mhm. I agree. Most of the people do not understand this, and they're very dependent
Mhm.
upon the insurances given by the company itself. So yeah,
Mhm.
you need to
I think
understand the
that
differences.
is very that is very. I mean, not a good way to look into like insurances.
Mhm. I agree.
Mm.
At the end, I just want to ask, like, do you have any parting advice before you go away for anyone who is watching, or to me as well? Anything that you want to share?
No, no, I think you like beautifully touched upon various topics, and we did a conversation which was very, I would say, would be
Mhm.
fruitful for anyone watching and for me as well. So it was just a first time experience
Mhm.
being a part of something like this, which you invited me for. So thanks for inviting me. It
Yeah,
should have been happened at the starting of the uh, this podcast, but yeah,
yeah.
thank you for inviting me, and
I enjoyed
yeah,
my time
nothing
as well,
much.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice actually seeing someone who have actually read the books and know people like Naval Ravikant because it's not every day you come across people like them. Naval Ravikant is very like I think so. Very unknown when it comes to
Uh,
like India in general because not a lot of people are reading it. If you're not on Twitter, I don't think so. You know about Naval Ravikant
uh,
in general. So yeah.
yeah, I also came across Naval Ravikant from, I guess, Twitter. So, yep,
Mm-hmm. I agree. So yeah, I enjoyed a lot of talking and sharing some of the common things, and yeah, enjoyed my time here. I hope you did too.
sure.
And
Thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
likewise. Thanks, Hitesh.
thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. And if you did, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. And I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.